We are back.
Welcome back. It's good to be back.
This is Radio Nowhere on Full Service 100.1 WJBD.
In Salem, Illinois.
You just heard the heavy, How You Like Me Now. Thanks for tuning in. This is Matt Leibarger here with you.
Also, behind the mic today, Matt Tackett and
Steve Stein.
Steve, what was the first song we heard?
David Bowie by Suffrage City.
By Suffrage City?
Yes.
Did he come by plane or by boat?
2 if by sea.
2 if by sea, 1 if by land. Oh, goodness. Well, it is the middle of the night. We're glad you've joined us here today. We're missing 2 of our rotating cast, but it should be like a Where's Waldo. That should have been our name. It should have been Where's Steve, Matt, and Chad.
Have a competition. Who's missing from tonight's show? See if you're paying attention.
Yeah, well, I don't know that we ever pay enough attention to really figure that out ourselves. But anyway, we're glad you joined us. Matt Leibarger, explain what the show's all about.
Well, Radio Nowhere is just an opportunity for us to come in and play some things that you may not hear typically on the airwaves. Maybe something that's just a step or a half step off of the typical playlist of WJBD.
And we every once in a while mention how we got together. We are all longtime friends, and most of us have, well, all of us here definitely, but most of the people that we bring in have some sort of tie one way or another to the radio station. Either we've worked here in the past or have hung out in the AM studio playing Risk and forcing Bruce to blow on the dice for good luck enough times that it's made us de facto employees.
So that was a long time ago.
That was.
So what are we going to listen to next here?
Well, coming up next, we've got, I'm the big resident Toad the Wet Sprocket fan, and tonight they wrapped up their Kickstarter. I just haven't actually paid attention. Doing our standard rules of the Internet does not exist while we're on this show. I don't know for sure if they made their Kickstarter goal of $250,000, but they're pretty close. They're definitely making a new album. They've got it released to their backers, and as a backer, I had the privilege of listening to some of it. And the first song that is off of the album New Constellation is called New Constellation, but this song is a one we've not played yet. It's called Golden Age. I think you'll enjoy it if you're a Toad fan, and if not, you'll maybe find a new appreciation for them. It's Radio Nowhere, WJBD. Full service 100.1 FM, WJBD. Band called Four Squirrels, F-O-R, Squirrels, not F-O-U-R, Squirrels. Orange Worker here on Radio Nowhere. What else we hear?
And before that, we heard Duran Duran, Ordinary World from, what was that, 1991, Steve?
I want to say 91, 92, yes.
That was kind of a comeback album for them. I do remember that.
Yes.
And then prior to that, tell them what we heard.
And start off, we heard Toad the Wet Sprocket from their forthcoming album, the song called Golden Age. So there you have it. It is... What is it? Saturday? We can never decide. Is it Saturday night or is it Sunday morning?
Officially, it's Sunday morning.
Yes.
And we are here with the Radio Nowhere crew, which we need official lanyards. We need to have lanyards because I think we spook the people that don't know us when we come into the building at this time of the night.
Now, are those lanyards going to get us into like the electronic lock system?
Well, yeah, that's the funny story. So shall we tell that? The WJBD replaced its lock that has been there since well before any of us were even hired.
The early 1900s.
And I was talking to Bruce about that earlier today, and he said he believed that lock may have been there when Brian Davidson built the station. So it may be a historic lock that's been removed.
It's going directly from this building to the William Jennings Bryan Museum, right?
I hope so. It may be too worn down to be of even historical use.
If not there, I think the Smithsonian could probably put it to use.
So coming up at the bottom of the hour, we'll have a check with the Weather Eye forecast. Some more music right now. Here's Utopia. Feet Don't Fail Me Now on Radio Nowhere. Full service 100.1 FM, WJBD.
Can't you see?
Radio Nowhere on Full Service 100.1 FM WJBD. Your Love, that's the outfield, following up from Feet Don't Fail Me Now from Utopia. Coming up, a check of the Weather Eye forecast. Keep it here for more music.
Radio Nowhere here on WJBD. Hey, guys, can you take a look at my eye? I think I caught a little bit of the weather eye. What should I do about that?
I think there's an antibiotic for that, maybe.
Maybe an ointment.
Possibly. Full service 100.1 FM, WJBD. Yes, this is Radio Nowhere, and you just had a check of the Weather Eye forecast, and Steve as well, apparently. Time now for our weekly Crowded House pick of the week. Every week we try and pick a Crowded House song to highlight after the weather. It's a group that we all like quite a bit, so we wanted to kind of share some of their music. This week, the song is Locked Out, off of, I think, their second album, also featured in the Reality Bites movie, if I remember right. I'm looking at both of them, and I'm not getting any kind of recognition, but I'm going to go with that. I think it was in the Reality Bites movie also, and on the soundtrack, too. So here is Crowded House, Locked Out, on Radio Nowhere, 100.1 FM, WJBD.
Full service 100.1 FM, WJBD, Suzanne Vega, 99.9 Fahrenheit degrees on Radio Nowhere. Also in there, we heard our weekly Crowded House song, Locked Out.
And just kind of a connecting little tidbit of information to those two songs. We didn't have this planned out. It was just a couple of songs that we had picked to play. Same producer. Now, I don't want to say, that may not be the same producer on that Crowded House song, but Mitchell Froome is, I just recognize the name on the back of the CD. He produced the Suzanne Vega album and at least Crowded House's first album. But beyond that, I'm not sure.
So
fascinating.
Serendipitous moment here on Radio Nowhere. We have been talking in weeks gone by, and we want to, one, hype it up because we think it's interesting, and two, if we don't hype it up, we probably will sweep it under the rug and forget to do it. But the Vending Machine Olympics, and unfortunately Chad Spray's not here.
No, we need to like sell some spots or some advertising for this.
I don't know who you could get for that.
Frito-Lay.
Well, it's too bad that we didn't jump on it a little bit sooner. It maybe could have been part of the Marion County Fair.
Oh, well, now that's a shame. And the fair, by the way, wrapped up just a few hours ago, maybe. I don't know. I can't even really think when it did. Bad with time, but
Nike tractor pull or something.
The big tractors were pulling tonight, and the demo derby was Friday night. Another successful year for the fair, I'm sure, but no Vending Machine Olympics there.
Maybe next year. Or Balloon Fest.
Balloon Fest is coming up. We might be able to sync that in together with Balloon Fest.
I know we've talked about it before, but Matt Tackett, do you want to tell them a little bit about what we had in mind for the Vending Machine Olympics, or at least how we've discussed it in the past? Yeah,
the basic premise of the Vending Machine Olympics is since especially now, this is predated the vending machine here at WJBD, but the concept has been you take a vending machine, you start at the item in the upper left-hand corner, and you have one of every item across the row. So if the upper left-hand corner is potato chips, and the next one is corn chips, and then the next one is corn puffs, and the next one is onion rings, that's your first row. Then your next row is a candy bar, another candy bar, another candy bar. But the idea being that you're trying to eat your way across sequentially the vending machine from top to bottom, left to right, and theoretically it's a time challenge, but it's essentially an endurance feat.
Well, it's a time thing because you're pretty much a ticking time bomb before you vomit all over.
Well, we're hoping that will not be the case, though.
Hey, speaking of Balloon Fest, real quick, we were talking about how we kind of have people in and out of here as far as our shows. Tonight, of course, Matt Donahoe is absent. He is busy preparing his hot air balloon, I believe, for the Balloon Fest.
Steve, what's the design of his balloon?
I don't have the spec sheet here right in front of me, but I believe it is the shape of Matt's giant head, and once it gets full of hot air, I believe it floats over town and like blinks or waves or something at everybody.
Oh, I was talking earlier today because I worked this morning, and I noticed that the Salem Pool is having this is related, believe it or not, it's having a cardboard boat race coming up soon, and I thought, well, wouldn't that be a hoot to get the Radio Nowhere cardboard boat?
I like it.
I have experience in the cardboard boat race. I won the biggest trophy, and I believe it was 2000 or 1999 for spectacular sinking at the Balloon Fest cardboard boat race. So there is some experience here. I just need a few good helmsmen.
I think that sounds like fun. I could do some flailing as it goes down.
Oh, well, how about we play some more music? Get you entertained, and that way we like having fun, just hanging out, but I'm sure you're here to hear a little bit of music that you don't normally get to hear, and here's some Matthew Sweet. The song's called Evangeline. It is on Radio Nowhere on WJBD.
Radio Nowhere on full service 100.1 FM WJBD. That was Rick Springfield. I've done everything for you. And we were just talking about that song a little bit ago before we played it. There's a version by Sammy Hagar, and I think, I don't want to swear to it because I'm not allowed to look on the internet during the show, but I want to swear that he wrote the song also, Sammy Hagar did. But Rick Springfield, I think, has like the much, much better version.
You'd say that's the definitive edition?
Oh, most definitely.
Okay. Before that, we heard Matthew Sweet with Evangeline. Matthew had a bigger hit called Girlfriend that kind of made the rounds of album-oriented rock stations back in, I'd say is probably 94?
That's my guess.
I was trying to think what I was doing. Somewhere in there. I was definitely in college, so had to be somewhere in that range. Anyway, we appreciate you tuning in tonight. You know, next week we're not going to do the vending machine Olympics next week, are we?
I think I think we should do it before school starts.
The important thing is we need to get a couple rolls of quarters saved up before we do that.
Or get real friendly with the vending machine guy.
That could work too.
So, well, thanks again for listening to Radio Nowhere. This is Matt Leibarger saying see you later.
Matt Tackett see you later as well.
And Steve Stein saying, if you like what you heard, tell a friend. If you don't like what you heard, please don't tell anybody.
And we'll leave you this week with a very special version of Are You Lonesome Tonight from Elvis Presley. Have a good night.
Radio Nowhere, WJBD.
Are you lonesome?
WJBD, Salem, Centralia.
100.1 FM.